Good afternoon, how are you guys? क्या और भी स्टूडेंट सिर्फ 10 ही है जो बाकी 8 of 24 students are सिर्फ 10 ही है. What happened to us? You guys are getting insincere nowadays. So, in the morning class, we have seen how to construct DFA if the input symbols are given and conditions, one or two conditions will be given. Above word. I didn't get your question. Okay, now we will do a bit more examples. So the whole thing about this subject is that the more you practice, more it will be clear because there are like numbers of way of constructing DFA or asking questions. So more you will practice, more it will be clear to you. So in previous class, we did construct DFA accepts all starting with 0. Then we also check accepts all string ending with 0. Okay. Now let's do I'm a bit tired actually. Now let's construct DFA which will accept all strings for A and B. All strings starting with A and ending with B. Now we have to construct a DFA which will start with A and end with B. So what can be the possible strings now? Possible strings क्या क्या है? Starting with A and ending with B. So minimum string will be AB, right? Starting with A and ending with B. Yes, that's the minimum string. Then ABAB is also possible. Yes, AAB is also possible. AABB is also possible. Or you can write maybe 4 times AA and 4 times BB, you know. Okay. Now here we cannot write simply. Okay. It's starting with A true, but it is not ending with B. We cannot even write B because not starting with A but ending with B. We cannot write B also because it's totally opposite. So let's see what we can design now. First, let's take input state Q0. Now always start from the minimum string, right? Starting with A and ending with B. So for minimum string AB, so you can write one state A n, then it will go to final state to B. Done. This one is done. Starting with A and ending with B. In this state, it will reach the final state. So string is accepted. Okay. Now you just think how you can implement others. Okay. For example, AB and AB. Is it accepted? A, B. Now nothing. Okay. So now we know we cannot start the string with B. So for this one, you can just create a dead state, correct? A is already done. So for B, whenever the DFA will read the input P, it will just go to a dead state. Okay, done. So it will only accept all the strings which will start with A. So if you give any string starting with B, it will just come to the dead state or the wrap state. Dead or wrap. Okay, so for here you can just give a self loop and put A and B. So it doesn't matter whether it comes A, B, whatever is the string, it will be in this text state only. Okay. Now for here, for Q1, B is done. Now A is here. Okay, base here. Now you think how you can give A. If you put A here, just think what kind of string it will accept. A, B, A. We don't want string A, B, A, right? Starting with A, but ending with A again. Okay, but we don't want that. So in this way, it will come to the text. But at the same time, after coming here, you can also take strings like A, B, B, correct? So from here, if I read A and then A and B, B, it will just keep in the trap state like A, B, B, 1. So for string A, B, B, if I give this A, this state, it won't be accept A, B, B. Correct? Got my point? So I'm not going to put A here. Now if I suppose example I give A here or Q1, is it accepted? A, 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 then B. For here, if I keep just one B here, then problem is solved. A, A, B, B. Right? But now again you think simple A, B, A, B, A, B. If I want A, B, A, B, A, B, then where is the A again? Right? Now if I put A here again, is it acceptable? What are the other strings? Put this A, B, A, B. You can keep repeating. Okay. But if you give A here, it is also possible that it will also accept A, B, A, which is not acceptable, which is not in the language, right? So we cannot put A together with the B here. Okay, we cannot give A here. Now you think This is still on holder. If we put A here, is the problem solved? A, B, A, B, B. Correct. Now A is still missing. If I put A, B, A, A, B, B. Now still this one is missing. Okay, we can give this quotient here, but this one we cannot give here because some strings are not accepted. So you can just give a self loop here. Now you see A, B, B. Then A, B, A, B, B, whatever. So anyways, the string will ultimately always start with A and end with B. Here we cannot give self loop for A because we always want the string to end with B. If we give A here, then it will also accept the string with A. So we just put it here. So it will be like A, B. Anyways, it will end with B. Okay. Ending is not accepted. Yes, ending with A is not acceptable. Therefore, self loop, I didn't put A here. Then it will also accept the string ending with A. Just look at it one bit for a while. If we would have like put it here instead of here, for example, I'm giving it A. I'm giving A here. So what will be the problem? One of the problems is that, for example, you have a string 1, 2, 3, 4, B. Even number of A, then a B comes. Okay. Then if you give A here 1, 2, 3, 4, then there is another 1A. That means 5A. Correct? 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. So after here a B should come, but A is there. So this one is not accepted. Correct? So this string will not be accepted if you put A here. And that's why we just made a self loop here. Okay. So in this case, no problem whether it is even number of A's or odd number of A's. You can take as well. Okay, then it will end with the. So this is the final DFA for this one. Is it clear? Just think. Strings starting with A, ending with B, start from the minimum string, which is AB. So A and B and final string. Correct? Next, you have different AB and AB. For key one, you already did A. So you need to just put B somewhere. And since it will not accept any string starting with B, you can just put this B symbol to a death string. Okay? Death state or trap state. Okay, here then you can put AB, so it doesn't matter what is the string, it is not going to accept the string. Okay, the string is acceptable only when it will reach the final state. Now for key one, B is already done, so you need to put A somewhere. So you just first check what can be the other possibilities, then you draw accordingly. So same thing for Q2 also, you cannot put self loop A here. Why? Because it will also end A. Now think if you put A here instead of Q1. What can be the possibilities. You can go like A, B, A, B, right? But again, there will be like even odd thing. Okay, you can accept A, B thing. Therefore, first thing from Q0, you cannot put it to the dead state because it will be a problem. Okay, you don't want here because sometimes if you just after reaching here, it comes to the dead state and it will be a problem for you. Therefore, we are not going to put A here. We will keep A, Q2, Q1. Is this one clear? This compulsion like that at the end. No, it will depend on the language or acceptability. Not necessarily you will always get a text state. Here the condition is starting with A. But what will happen if your string starts with B? You cannot accept that string, right? Only that case only you will put a dead state so that the string doesn't get accepted. Anything starting with B. Deals with A, B, string A, B, A, B, right? So it will start from A, Q0, Q1, A, right? Your question. Then you say another A. So it can come to the same state. Q1, A, A done. Next is your B. So for B, it can come to Q2, right? Q2, B. Right? Next you have another A and A. So from Q2, it can come to Q1 again. A. Next you said another A. So there is a self loop here. So it will come back to Q1 again with 1A. Next you said B. So it will go to Q2 state again. So it is in the final state. So it is accepted. Reply your question A, B, right? A, B, A, then B. This sequence. Any other strings you want to try? Okay. All the time we just check the infinite one. Let's take one example with the finite language. Okay. So for example, you have to construct DFA with strings AB again. Let's take AB, or you can also keep 0, 1, doesn't matter. But of length 2. Now I say the length of the string should be only 2. So what will be the possible strings? AA, there is no restriction for sequence. I just say length 2. Yes, AA, BB, AB, and BA. So only 4 things are possible. 4 strings. So how can you draw it? For example, you are taking initial state. Okay. Minimum length will be 2. That means you need at least 2 expressed. Right? Okay. Now here you can keep A or you can keep, and here also you can keep A or you can keep B. Now see the language. A, A possible. B, B correct. A, B is also correct. Then B, A is also correct. Correct. Now, for both states, AB done. For Q2, AB is left. Now, do you think I can put A and B self loop here? Can I put, for Q2 also we have to mention, right? For both symbols. So can we put A and B self loop here? We cannot. Why? Why? If we do that, it will also accept strings multiple types of A, multiple times of B, correct? The condition will not satisfy. So we cannot make a self loop here. So instead, what you can do, you just make a death trap state. Okay, Q3, and you put A and B here. So anything other than length 2 or more than length 2 will not be accepted. It will simply go to the trap state. For this, you can just put A. Right? Got the idea now? Yeah, I cannot put self loop. If you put a loop, that means there can be multiple numbers of A or multiple numbers of B. Condition is length is only 2. So either it will take A or it will take B. Similarly here also either it will take A or it will take B. Then it will come to the final state. So length is still just 2. Anything other than, means any strings other than length 2 will just go to the death state. This one clear? So previous examples were Q3 number. Q3, this one. See, your length is 2. So after reaching here, it should end. But it is also possible, right? That someone might give like A, or B, B. Anything other than length 2. Length 2 is the limit. Someone can give length 3, length 4, and so on, right? Or maybe multiple numbers of A, multiple numbers of B, anything. Right. Therefore, the length 2 is done. Anything other than length 2, you just bring it to a dead state or trapped state. So if it is trapped here, it is not going to accept. Right? To accept the string, it has to come to the final state. So beyond that, it will all go to the dead state. Now it doesn't matter what is the string. We can take 4A. A, another A. That way. Then triple A, B. A, B. Sorry, A, B. Trap state. Again A, A, B, B. Maybe you write multiple numbers of 5. Maybe 4A, 5A, and 5B. So A, A. Then 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A doesn't matter. Then again similarly double B, whatever B. Doesn't matter. It will be just trapped in this state only, which is not final state. So it's still satisfying the condition length is 2. See, if you have to construct a something, you have to also take care of the unacceptable strings. So suppose if you don't write this one, this is not exactly complete. Why? Because as I mentioned, there can be multiple number of strings. So you have to keep the provision for all, even for the unaccepted strings. Okay, so DFA will be like that. You are making a machine which will not only accept the strings, it will also reject the strings which are not satisfied by the conditions. So provision दोनों के लिए रखना पड़ेगा. You have to make sure all acceptable strings are accepted by the DFA. At the same time, all the non-acceptable strings are also exactly not accepted. It is going to a dead state. Okay, then only your DFA will be complete. जैसे यहाँ पे we are taking care of like make sure even number of A's भी accept कर रहे. That's why. But यहाँ पे अगर A डाल दूँ ये odd numbers A डाल रहे. That's why we didn't put A here. We just put a self root. Right? So we are also taking care of the strings. Those are not accepted. Right? Like BBA and all. Those are not accepted strings. So we have to make sure that these strings doesn't get accepted by the DFA. So same thing, we have to make sure strings more than length 2 are not accepted by the DFA. That's why we put that. That's state. Okay. Clear? Both examples. Okay. Okay, that's all for today. I will give some more example to you guys. It will be homework. Then when you guys will do yourself, it will be easier. Okay, then all homework. I can also discuss in class also. Okay, you just try yourself. Then I'll give homework by tomorrow, I guess, or by tonight. I'll take it to group or Google Classroom. Then you guys try yourself. Then in next class we will discuss those homework. Okay. Then you can check whether your one is correct or not. Okay, I will stop sharing. The construction part actually is very interesting. This whole chapter is about constructing finite operators only. Constructing DFA is actually means more easier than constructing NFA. NFA is a bit confusing because it can go to any state. Here it's like definite, right? For every symbol, it will go to one state. But in case of NFA, it's not like that. It can go to just jump to any state any number of times. Okay, okay, that's all for today. Thank you.